Okay, so I'm pretty excited today, guys, because I got, I should probably move that, this awesome new light from Walmart on clearance for $7. And it's your typical desk lamp, really bright LED. And the best thing is it comes with this cell phone charger, so I can charge my phone while I do my videos. And it's an LED, it's supposed to be like really lengthy hours or something like that, but I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, today's project, I'm really excited because I know I'm a little late for the first day of fall, but this is like a fall Thanksgiving kind of mashup. So let's get started. So let's start by going over all of the items that I got at the 99-cent store and at Goodwill. Now what I did today is I did $5 at the 99-cent store, and this is one of the things I got. And it was only $1 for all of these, so I was really shocked. I definitely had to take that home. I got this pumpkin also for $1. Thought it was really gorgeous. And another thing that I got was give me a minute, I gotta dig through all my stuff. It's a mat for eating dinner or any other things that you like to use mats for, but I want to put it in the bottom of something that I got from the 99 or from Goodwill, I mean, and I'm pretty excited as to what it's gonna look like when it's done. So at Goodwill, I also had a $5 limit, and the awesome thing was everything was 50 cents off, or 50% off. So this sweater was only $2.50, I think, and it's completely gorgeous. And I think it'll look good over this sparkling pumpkin. It's just gonna come out perfect. The reason why I'm gonna use the sweater is because it's so beautiful, but it has a stain on it. So I figured it would be better for projects. And then I also got this little pumpkin from Goodwill, and I got this awesome looking, it was an ugly color, breakfast tray, but we'll come back to that in a minute. First, let's take these stems off of the pumpkin. It'll be easier to decorate them, and we can glue the stems back on later. Now the piece of metal that was on top, I'll probably end up pulling that off later too. This top of the pumpkin, the stem was a little bit harder to pull off on this one. I had to work a little bit, but that's okay. It was glued in there kind of well, so for being 99-cent store, you know you're getting a good product. And take off the tag, of course. And I think we'll save this for later. I'm not sure if we're going to use it or not yet. Okay, so we're gonna take out all these beautiful leaves and things that we got from the 99-cent store and just kind of place them and see exactly where we want them. I think this will look nice, but keep in mind we are going to be covering these pumpkins, so this is not 100% what it's going to look like when it's done. Well, instead of using those tops, I went out and cut some of my mesquite tree in the backyard to use on the pumpkins. I thought it would give it a more natural look, and I was very satisfied in the end with what it came out to be. I ended up not using the smaller one though here and getting a bigger one because it just looked so much better. Don't be afraid to go outside and play around with what you have in your backyard. You will have some amazing results with some of the most unobvious things. Okay, so let's get to this little mat. We're going to have to measure it in our little, this thing. I can't remember what it's called right now. It's like one of those breakfast in bed trays. So we're going to take this tray outside and we're going to paint it. But that will be in a little bit. First, we're going to cut up this mat to fit perfectly inside of it. I'm really excited for the way it's going to look when it's done. I have a picture of it in my head, and it just looks amazing. Let's hope that it lives up to the vision in my head. So now that we've cut it, we're going to leave a little edge enough to fold it down to make it look nice when it's finished, just like that side right there. So we're going to have to fold it down with an even line and be careful and measure just right. We'll just flip it over and make sure that it fits perfectly so we can fold it just right. Now we're just going to trim off all this excess here to make it look nice. And then we'll get the glue gun and we'll start gluing it down. Now because of the mesh, I found the hot glue tends to bleed through, and this is not my table, so I had to lay something down after I figured this out to make sure that it didn't stick to the table. For some reason, before the hot glue cooled, I had a little bit harder of a time getting it to stick to each other with the glue gun until it officially started to cool, and it was because of the holes in the mat. But once it started to cool to the proper temperature, it stuck perfectly. So keep this in mind. When you're working with a canvas style material, you might have to hold it in place a little bit until it fully dries, even with the glue gun. Now I have these little leaves, and I decided that I wanted to add some of them to the canvas just to add a little bit of flair to tie all the pieces together in when the whole entire thing was complete. And it fits perfectly. Now let's move on to our pumpkin. This piece of metal on top I had to pull out, so it took a little bit of force. If you're not that strong, you might want to get your significant other to do it. I, however, had no real problem getting it. Sorry about that, everybody. I kind of got a text while I was working. But anyway, to continue, now we're going to trim up these pieces to go onto the pumpkin. I decided that I wanted to recycle a lot of the stuff I have, since I have a lot of lace and this material called... For the life of me, I cannot remember what this material is called, but that's okay. I will think of what it's called and put it in the link below. Well, we're definitely going to need the glue gun for this portion, and I'm going to speed up this part of the video because literally applying all this lace and this tannish colored material took me 30 minutes, so I had to speed it up for the not only the first pumpkin but the second pumpkin as well, because if I didn't, this video would have been almost 2 hours long. Let me know in the comments whether or not you want me to put an extended portion of putting the pumpkins together, and I will do so and tag it in the comments. as a second and third portion to this video. And I just pulled the pieces of material tight towards the base, right where they connected with the pumpkin, and it created a ripple effect, making it look like an actual natural / material pumpkin. And I trimmed off as much as the excess material as I could because I didn't want it bunching up at the top and the bottom of the pumpkin. It wouldn't have made it look very natural. So be sure and trim off any excess material, just enough to keep the pumpkin covered. And here towards the end, I put in on a big, huge 1 to 3 inch long piece of lace. Just gather the lace at the top and the bottom and glue it as tight knit as you can at the top and bottom, and then spread it out over the pumpkin, and it will give it that wonderful pumpkin-y looking effect. And then I also added my trusty string that I use in almost every project to tie it all together and give the pumpkin some definition and lines. After that, I used a quarter to measure out a piece of this material, which I ended up not liking, so I used it's at the Michael's stores, and it's in the cheap section. It's really like a matte style cheapy material, and I used that and I glued it on the bottom of the pumpkin just to, yeah, this stuff right here. I can't remember the name of that either. I'm completely horrible right now. It's almost time for me to leave work, so my brain's kind of fried. I'm sorry about that, folks. Anyway, I just took this piece of material and glued it on the bottom of the pumpkin to really just make it look nice and smooth. Now I'm going to set it on the tray and just see how much I like it and how it looks. I came to the conclusion that the stem was a little long, so I went out and had it trimmed. And then I remember seeing this silver piece earlier, and I dug back through my stuff and pulled it out because I wanted to make one of those little twirly things that you always see on pumpkins, and this part I just thought was so cute because it added that little piece to the pumpkin that just made it even more unique. And I just put a little dot of glue, twisted the ribbon or the silver piece of, I don't even know what the heck this stuff is called, put another glue dot, twisted it again, and then put another glue dot, and it came out just perfect. The bottom was a little bit tricky and it took a little bit of manipulation, so just know that that last part right there is a little bit tedious if you do want to do this, but it looks really nice and it's well worth it when it's finished. Okay, I just realized that I'm using a hot glue gun on the table, so I went and got my mat. But now we're also going to take this tray out and paint it white. And now we're going to work with the wonderful sweater that I found. This thing is so pretty. And we're going to put it on the second pumpkin. Now when I start gluing this material onto the pumpkin, I decided to speed that one up too, because that one took about 15 to 19 minutes to complete. So if you want a copy of this video in slow motion so you can actually work with the video and do this yourself, let me know. I will edit it and post it up and tag it underneath this video for you guys to enjoy and hopefully utilize and learn how to make these pumpkins a little bit easier. I kind of used my scissors too to help with pressing the glue down, since the material was very holy and the glue seeped through and kind of burned my fingers, so I just used the scissors to kind of push it in place. And then of course I got my string that I use on pretty much everything, like I said previously, and added it to all of the little lines in the pumpkin just to define out the pumpkin underneath the material. And it just made this pumpkin come out very magnificent and elegant looking. I really loved how it came out. And stay tuned, because I'm also going to be making a little zipper purse and a Christmas stocking out of what I had left from this sweater, and I think they're going to come out very pretty. So just remember, in a couple of weeks or a month or two, when you see that sweater, hey, again, I made it into a pumpkin first. And again, I'm going to take this material and cut out a little circle and put it on the bottom of the pumpkin just to clean it up and make it look really professional and really nice. And again, I used the scissors to push it in place because I got tired of burning my fingers. As I keep saying in all of my videos, this glue gun is very hot. Now let's put the top on our pumpkin. Remember, I went out to the backyard and found some mesquite tree pieces. You can use anything you want. Your imagination can run wild. I think this is literally my favorite part of the pumpkin, is just utilizing a piece of nature and sticking it on top and adding the little leaves and just making it look perfect. It kind of made it feel a little bit more antique-y to me. And of course, add our last two leaves, and this pumpkin is ready to go. And it looks magnificent. I think this one is my favorite, actually. I like the little one too, with all the colors, but the bigger one is my favorite, I have to say. Alrighty, now see our tray? It came out white and beautiful. I really like how nice this came out. I put like 2 to 3 coats of spray paint on it and left it out in the Arizona sun. and it came out amazing. Alright, let's put this thing together and see what it looks like. I think you guys will love it. Also, I just barely set up a Facebook page, so if you guys go to @lilmissdasie on Facebook, you can find my page, and please like, and I will update videos every Friday so you know when they come out. Also, check out my Pinterest board at lilmissdasie, and you can find out also when all of my YouTube videos are up. And I now have a new Instagram at lilmissdasie, and you can find everything there as well. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and God bless. Have a wonderful day.